In the final season of our Reading save, we have managed to successfully survive in the Premier League. We've got 4 games left to play. We currently sit on 47 points. We can technically get Europe, but I think it means everybody above us needs to lose every single game and we need to win every game. And I don't think that one's going to particularly happen. In between episodes, we have played a few more matches, and we've actually done very well. We beat Man City, a team who are currently top of the Premier League. Harry Wilson and Kiddo Taylor-Hart, after his just epic performances against Wolves in the last episode, managing to get on the score sheet once again. We then beat Brentford as well, 3-1. I don't know what happened. Obviously, we went on a very bad run of form, just 2 wins in, 8 league games, and then 3 in 3. We've won 3 out of 3, putting us up into 11th place in the table. We're going to play Palace, Brighton and Spurs in today's episode. Let's jump straight into the Crystal Palace game. The starting lineup then will be Boyce Clark in goal, Norton Cuffy as our right back, left back with Guinness Walker, Mepham and Sardi round off the defence, Kozlovs and Hamilton in central midfield, Wilson and Kiddo Taylor-Hart on the wings, Delap and Maleka leading the lines. Kiddo Taylor-Hart is keeping Edozie out of the squad at the moment, and Edozie's a better player. But Taylor-Hart is he's just on the form of his life. He's on the form of his life, and he's actually getting better. He might actually be a late bloomer. You know, one thing we're going to do as well? Danny Ings is going to get on the subs bench. He's retiring at the end of the season, and I think it's only right that he gets 1 more appearance on camera. So we are on a 3-game winning streak. Palace love to draw by the looks of it, and they're playing a 4-4-2 with Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. Fair enough, he's gone from Everton to Crystal Palace. It's not really the trajectory that I expected his career would have gone, but there we are. Mepham has the ball for us after 1 minute and 30 seconds. Norton Cuffy comes forward, across to Kozlovs, the English and Latvian. Now Maleka finds Kiddo Taylor-Hart, the Jamaican international, cuts inside, ball forward to Wilson, plays it on the ground to Kozlovs, and Romans Kozlovs gets his 2nd goal of the season. We take the lead within 2 minutes against Crystal Palace, and we could finish in the top half of the Premier League. That goal moves us up to 9th place currently. Wilson to Kozlovs. Where are you going to go? On the ground to Norton Cuffy. Crosses in. Maleka's there. Heads across goal. Just goes over the bar. That's going to put us on 50 points. Our goal difference is a nice flat 0. So arguably, this has been way more productive and way more... we've overachieved way more than I thought we would. We're actually now up to 8th place as well. So Villa are losing to Arsenal, so they've dropped down. We could get Europe. If we finish 7th or 8th, could technically get Europe for us. Not a lot's happening in this match. Palace are literally doing nothing. We've had loads of possession. It was at one point like 68, 69% possession. It's dropped down to 57 at the moment. We are barreling towards half-time. 1-0 lead, but nothing. Nothing happened realistically from there. Palace woke up in the final, 5 minutes or so of the first half. I'm just going to say that. We're going to go straight into the second half. Our strikers aren't really doing much. Maleka's on a 6-6, Taylor-Hart's on a 6-6 as well, Delap on a 6-8, Mika Hamilton in the middle of the pitch on a 6.4. I'm genuinely, if I was to do a season 6, I'd sell him. I think it's time for him to move on in the summer. It is Veron to Tyreek Mitchell, ball forward again towards Veron. Wilson intercepts it, but his clearance is not very good. Mika Hamilton's clearance is a little bit better, still not perfect. It's Rob Holding down the line to Elise, plays it back to Roslev. On the right-hand side, can he get his cross away? He does so towards Danny Motter at the back post, and Calvert-Lewin was there as well. We've cleared our lines, not necessarily far enough. Eze to Decore. On that left-hand side is Mitchell once again, but Liam Delap comes in, nicks that ball away. Palace have certainly turned up in the second half already by the looks of it. Delap heads clear from the free kick. Robert Renan keeps this alive though for Palace. We are, 3 minutes into the second half. Norton Cuffy heads vertically. Sardi gets it clear. Finds Taylor-Hart. Now Guinness Walker. Can we do some form of counter-attack? We want to go forward, lad. Maleka back to Hamilton. Now Delap in the centre circle. We've got Wilson in front of him. Down the line. Someone made a run. I think it was Norton Cuffy. It was Norton Cuffy trying to make a run, but nobody really saw him quick enough. And then Calvert-Lewin just steals the ball away. And what is this highlight? What's this highlight? There's a goal happening. There's definitely a goal happening. Veron in on goal. Has to go backwards to Mitchell. Long range effort. And there you go. You just know, sometimes there are highlights that nothing's happening, so you just know there's going to be a goal. So first half it was all us, second half it looks like, at the moment at the very least, it is all Crystal Palace. They've got their equaliser, but we're still 9th place in the table somehow. I don't know how we're still 9th in the table. I assume everybody around us and above us seems to be losing. Right, we need to do a whole load of changes because, let's face it, people are playing badly. Edozie's going to come on for Taylor-Hart. Why Larios? What was he suggested? We're going to take off Hamilton as well for Vermeeren. What else do we do? Maleka coming off for Danny Ings. Yep, we're doing that one. And Saadi is struggling for Ronnie Edwards. So 4 subs after 67 minutes. We need to find ourselves this goal. First highlight since the changes, and we've got the ball in, I would say, a good position. It's kind of a good position. Kozlov's back to Mepham. Norton Cuffey on the right. In the middle finds Liam Delap. Plays it back to Ronnie Edwards. Ball forward again. Vermeeren lumps it upfield towards Edozie on the left-hand side. His control isn't very good, and in fact, I don't think he controlled it at all, did he? Edozie does win the ball back, though. 74 minutes on the clock. Edwards to Kozlovs to Vermeeren. We're trying to pass our way through, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Kozlovs finds Delap. Ball forward to Wilson. Danny Ings is in the box. If he can find him, he doesn't look for him. Instead, he goes for goal. The greedy little bugger. That could have been Danny Ings' swan song right there. A winning goal against Palace could have been Danny Ings' swan song, and we'd never see him again. Instead, we've now got Palace coming forward, and Palace take the lead. Mads Roslev makes it 2-1. Kind of out of the blue. I'm blaming Harry Wilson. If we lose this game, I'm blaming Harry Wilson. It's definitely not his fault, but I'm blaming Harry Wilson. Final 5 minutes, and we've been rubbish. Harry Wilson's dropped down to a 6.5, so he's clearly taken the blame for something as well. We're going to do Perot coming on the right-hand side, apparently. That's what they recommend. We've got no right wingers, that's the problem. Right, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to do Larios. No, we're not. We're going to do Chukwuemeka. You can play on the right-hand side, surely. Surely you're competent enough to play as a right winger slightly. 7 minutes of injury time, and it starts with a free kick for Palace in a very good position. It is Bailey. I assume that's Leon Bailey? I don't know. It's a man called Bailey anyway, stepping up to take it. Long range effort. It's over the bar. I think it dinked the top of the bar, goes over. Still 2-1 to Palace. Are we going to get ourselves another chance to maybe get ourselves an equaliser? It does not... Or maybe it does look like it's going to happen. We've got a minute to play. Kozlovs, the first goal scorer. Edozie is there, and Edozie's put the ball in. We've got VAR. In the 97th minute, have we nicked a point? It means nothing really in the grand scheme of things, does it? But we have potentially stolen a point. 96.5 minutes on the clock. We make it 2-2 against Palace. It puts us up to 9th place in the table. The substitution's actually kind of making the difference in the end. Edozie with the goal. It's a point. Should have been 3. Especially when you consider Crystal Palace were 18th place before that match. That 1 point that they've picked up has moved them into 17th place and out of the relegation zone. We are now up to 9th in the table. We are now going to go forward. And who are we going to play? It is Brighton next up. We've then got Southampton, who are down in 16th, which we're not going to do on camera. And I'm going to finish things off with Spurs, who are in 13th. Brighton are 3rd. Match number 2 then up against 3rd place Brighton, and we've got some changes going on. It's going to be Boyce Clark sticking in goal. Nick Dix will be making his debut because he's Nick Dix, and we kind of want to play some youngsters, I think. Mepham, Kozlovs and House will be our other defenders. Kozlovs dropped back into central defence because Saadi has been pretty poor the last few matches. Kozlovs obviously scored a goal in the last game from midfield, but we want to play Vermeeren in midfield alongside Hamilton. Wilson and Edozie on the wings, Delap and Mansouri leading the lines. You might be wondering, where's Maleka? He's injured, so is Guinness Walker. Maleka's out for potentially up to 3 weeks. Guinness Walker also out for just potentially 3 to 8 days. So Guinness Walker should be back sooner rather than later. No Danny Ings on the bench for this one. I don't think we kind of realistically want to be risking playing Danny Ings because I genuinely think we've got a chance here. I don't know why. I've just auto-numbered Nick Dix and he's been given number 59. If he was given number 69, you would have thought that was a joke. It's number 59, okay? So Brighton off the back of a draw in their last match, but they do have 3 wins in their last 5. We obviously have 3 wins in our last 5 as well. So we're actually in very similar form, which is weird to say because they're up in 3rd place and potentially, I say potentially, they're most likely getting Champions League football. And in fact, if they win here, I imagine they will get Champions League football. Bella Kotchap to Van Heck. This is going to be confusing because they're wearing the blue and white, aren't they? It is Bella Kotchap, the former Southampton man. Finds Baleba. Now Almada, Lamptey with acres of space on that left-hand side. Crosses it in low. And Courtney House scores an own goal. Magical. Courtney House is playing because of that Guinness Walker injury. And then also because Larios isn't fully match fit. And the first thing he does within 7 minutes is score an own goal. What a clown. Well, that goal means we do drop down to 10th place in the table. Brighton keep their spot in 3rd, and I think they will be getting Champions League football if they win this game. Courtney House with a throw, has to make amends. Edozie to Hamilton. Kozlovs, what are you going to do? Ball on the ground, finds Mansouri, getting a rare start, but because of those injuries, we kind of want to be playing him and have to be playing him. Vermeeren, back to Mepham, Kozlovs is there. goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. What are we doing, guys? Kozlov's. Upfield, we've got Mansouri with a bit of space. Vermeeren didn't have the space, but we tried to pass to him anyway. Nick Dix ball over the top towards Delap. Doesn't manage to find him. Lamptey collects it, though, for Brighton. On the ground to Chalobah. Now forward to Baleba. Almada on the ground again. João Pedro collects it back to Lamptey. Brighton are a good side. There's a reason why they're third, aren't they? They're just walking straight through us. Almada's in on goal, and Almada should have made it 2-0. It was actually a very good save by Boyce Clark. Rooney Bargi has gone over to take that corner. 24 minutes, that's all that's on the clock at the moment. Almada to Rooney once again into the penalty area. Baleba's there. It's blocked by his own defender. Van Heck was in the way. Baleba keeps it alive though. Chalobah across. João Pedro facing away from goal. Delap just passes it back to João Pedro by the looks of it. I think we're going to get smashed about 5 or 6-0 here. Rooney on the ground to Lopez, edge of the area. Plays it back to Bella Kotchap. Now Walker-Peters. Why have they just got a whole bunch of former Saints players? What's going on? That's what we do. We've got loads of former Saints players, just not the good ones, apparently. Well, we've weathered a bit of a storm there. I say weathered. It's still going, isn't it? Maybe that was the eye of the storm. Almada steps up with a free kick in a good location. Boyce Clark fists it. It was half fist and half palm, and it came out as pists. He palms off for a corner. Rooney steps up to take the corner. 10 minutes left of the first half. Almada on the ground to Bella Kotchap. Awful. Good. That's what we like to see. We are seeing the goal kick, though. So, let's not give this straight to a Brighton player. Let's try and build something. An equaliser before half-time would go down magically well. Hamilton plays it back to Boyce Clark. What are we doing? This is not gegenpress football, by the way, is it? I mean, we are being gegenpressed off the pitch. We can't even get out of our penalty area. Edozie has the ball, though, for us. Back to Kozlov's, forward to Vermeeren. First time pass towards Mansouri, and Bella Kotchap is there to steal it away. And Brighton once again coming forward. They are relentless. Lamptey plays it back to Baleba. No idea if that's how his name's said, by the way. It doesn't sound right, but we're going to go with it. Lamptey with acres of space. Goes for goal. Boyce Clark with another very good save. He is the only person on our team doing anything good. Rooney steps up with another corner from that right-hand side. Goes short once again. João Pedro cross comes in. Chalobah's at the back post. Just wide of Boyce Clark's post. Stays 1-0. But Brighton are absolutely dominant. Oh, it's another corner, because apparently that's all that happens is corners for Brighton. It's a penalty. Are you joking? Are you actually joking? Who's done what here? If this is Courtney House has done something, he's getting subbed. He's coming off right now. It is a penalty. Delap. It was Liam Delap pushed Bella Kotchap. João Pedro's the man to step up to take it. We've got 3 minutes left to play, or 2 minutes left to play of the first half. Boyce Clark can't stop that one. And Brighton double their lead. And honestly, I don't think we're getting anything from this game. And I can say that with confidence, as we've literally not had a shot. We've had no shots, no corners. We've done 9 fouls, which is impressive. No yellow cards, also quite impressive. Thrash arms, you've been terrible, sort it out. We are going to have to do some tactical changes here. Nick Dix is actually he's not doing great, is he? He's on a 6-3, sorry. Norton Cuffy is going to come on as our left back, because Courtney House isn't a left-back, apparently. Even though we can kind of play there. Wilson's playing badly, but of all the people on the pitch, I feel like he's playing badly more out of he's not getting the opportunities. Joel Perreault can come on as well for Mansouri. I think 2 changes at half-time. Something needs to give in the second half. We need to just get 1 goal. Will suddenly get us back into this game. Another couple of goals as well. And our goal difference isn't awful. Our goal difference is actually quite good amongst the teams around us. So if we draw, we'll go back up into 9th place. Delap has the ball for us. Crosses in towards Perreault. Can't quite find him. Wilson to Dix. Vermeeren with some space towards Liam Delap. Delap puts the ball away. The flag goes up. I don't think this one is going to count. I think it's going to get flagged for offside. And it's going to go back to 2-0. What does VAR say? The goal has been disallowed. Annoying. Definitely annoying. I mean, he was definitely offside, so it's kind of the right thing to do, but still. Right, Nick Dix has now dropped down to a 6.1. I feel like the meme needs to come off. He's not even a good meme, is he? His name's just Nick Dix. Sardi can come on as a right back. I mean, he can do it. He definitely can do it, but playing a centre-back as a full-back, we know from the first half, didn't work. But we are going to do that change. We're going to do Wilson as well coming off for Kiddo. It's going to have to be Kiddo, isn't it? I was contemplating as well swapping Taylor Hart and Edozie around, but I think actually playing Kiddo on the right might be something new, something fresh for him, and he might do a decent job. Palace have taken the lead against Spurs, which obviously isn't really important to us, but it means Palace are now potentially getting up a bunch more points. They've just conceded an own goal. Maybe not. I'll shut up. We've got the ball through Hamilton. Boyce Clark. I mean, what are we doing midfield-wise? Vermeeren's on a 6.4. Hamilton's on a 6.6. We are just not playing well. I mean, I wasn't even paying attention to what happened there. I'm glad they didn't score. João Pedro steps up then with a corner. Final 5 minutes or so. Cross comes in. Jan, whatever his name is, Jan Paul van Heck makes it 3-0. We've deserved nothing from this, and we're going to get nothing from this. We have had 2 shots now. So, you know, there's something, I guess, maybe? Not really, is it? Mepham to Hamilton. It's literally like 2 minutes after their 3rd goal. I feel like there's a 4th goal coming in this. Vermeeren collects it for us, plays it all the way back to Boyce Clark. Doesn't necessarily kick it hard enough, though, does he? Mepham to Vermeeren again. Getting your pass accuracy up, mate. It's not really what we want when we're 3-0 down. Joel Perreault, seen nothing of him since he's come on the pitch. Norton Cuffy, seen very little of him since he's come on the pitch. Edozie, same comment, even though he started on the pitch. We've just been horrendous in this match. This is... I know, like, I always say this to myself. We are a newly promoted side. We should not be winning against teams in 3rd. But I'd like a bit of a fight. We've done nothing. We've done absolutely nothing. We've almost set up them there. Kiddo with a free kick for us. Is it a consolation goal? It is not a consolation goal. It's saved. It's going to be a corner. We've had a shot on target. Technically, that was on target. Taylor Hart steps up to take the corner from the right-hand side. What are we going to do? We've got number 57, which is Sardi at the front post. It's towards Mepham instead at the back. And now Matoma can lay on the floor. Fair enough, he's got injured. Well, full-time, 3-0. Let's never talk about this game ever again. This is a worry. Mansouri hasn't scored for 14 matches. We've got Joel Perreault hasn't scored for 13 hours as well. I mean, Mansouri, admittedly, he doesn't start many games. If we look, a lot of them, he's off the bench. He's not really playing a lot. He's not very good, is he, guys? He's not very good. I mean, he should be good. He needs to go out on loan somewhere. Someone needs him on loan. It's a bit late to do that at the end of April. Right, we're going to go forward to the final game of the season, which is on Sunday, the 14th of May. It means we will be playing Southampton on camera, apparently, because that's a relevant match. Are they still in a relegation scrap? I mean, they are, aren't they? I mean, they're not. They're not in a relegation scrap. Realistically, Palace need to win both of their games. Saints need to lose both of their games. They're not in a relegation... I mean, they are. I'm desperately clutching at straws here as a Saints fan. I don't want them to be in a relegation scrap, but we'll come back the other side, ready for the Spurs game. So it's the final game of the season for our Reading save. In fact, it is the final game of our Reading save. We have just beaten Southampton 3-2. Mansouri scored a goal somehow. I'm not sure how we managed to do that. Jan Bednarek scoring an own goal as well to give us the 3 points, which means we are still within a chance of maybe getting into Europe, depending on what happens in the Champions League, Europa Conference League, and I guess the red and yellow card situation as well. This is the starting lineup we're going to go for against Spurs. Boyce Clark in goal. Nick Dix gets another start because I want to play him. Sardi, Mepham and Larios round out the defence. Kozlovs and Hamilton in midfield. Wilson and Edozie on the wings. Delap and Mansouri leading the lines. Danny Ings is once again on the subs bench. He's probably going to play his last ever game for us today. I don't want to do it, but I kind of also do want to do it. So from a form perspective, we're not doing awful, are we? We just had that massive blip, realistically, against Brighton in the middle. Spurs also doing quite well, but they've just come off the back of a defeat. I don't even know who that was against. They were the away team, apparently. They're down in 14th place. We are currently in 9th. A win could put us all the way as high as 8th place, assuming Forests don't win. We need to keep an eye on what they're doing. They're playing West Ham, who are 5th. And fighting for 5th as well. So West Ham do need to win that game, because otherwise they might drop down to 6th. Brighton are in 2nd. Brighton are beating West Brom, putting them into 2nd place in the Premier League on the final day of the season. That's just ridiculous. Kulusevski with the ball finds Maddison for Spurs. Almost places it in the bottom corner instead. Goes wide for a goal kick. 12.5 minutes played. First chance goes to Spurs. So far, very little is going on. 2 shots, 3 shots in total in 20 minutes. Elsewhere, Forest and West Ham is still 0-0 by the looks of it. We are still doing very little. I think neither team really cares about what's going on in this game, do they? Neither team cares. Doesn't really matter. We're both finishing mid-table. Larios with a throw to Edozie. Back to Larios. Now Hamilton on the ground to nobody. Not really what we want to be doing, is it? Kick up field. We get there first through Mepham. Across finds Sardi, who I think is going to be a ridiculously good player in the future. He's not quite there yet, I don't think. Wilson collects this ball. Back to Dix. Forward finds Delap. Tries to get it towards Wilson and can't quite manage it, but Wilson is tenacious. And then Delap decides to not pass to him again anyway. Maddison with the ball forward to Okafor. Now Son on the ground to Kulusevski. Gets a bit of space for himself and puts it in the bottom corner. Spurs take the lead. And everything was going right there until Liam Delap decides to try and pass it to Wilson badly twice. And that means we drop down to 10th place. Wolves actually leap up into 8th place because they're winning their game. So I think 10th is potentially the lowest we can finish. I've not even checked this. I should probably know what's going on with our team. We've got the ball through Boyce Clark. I thought there was going to be a penalty there. It doesn't look like anything's coming from it just yet. We've got a minute and a half of injury time to play. Is there an equaliser on the cards? Wilson heads down to Liam Delap. Plays it all the way back to Hamilton. Not sure that's what we wanted to do. Delap's ball forward is not very good. Delap is having a poor game at the moment. Van der Ven runs forward, finds Okafor. First touch is not the best. Sardi gets there, but manages to find straight back to Van der Ven. Basuma to Kulusevski. Almost puts it in the bottom corner. Almost doubles Spurs' lead instead. It looks like it is going to be 1-0 to Spurs at half-time. It's been uneventful, not very good, I think is how we're going to refer to this as. Show me something else in the second half, which, by something else, guys, something. Just anything at all. No changes for us at half-time. I'm assuming Forest are still drawing. They are still drawing. Wolves, who are Wolves playing? Where are Wolves? Wolves are right at the bottom against Leeds, beating them 1-0. So we need to keep an eye on what's going on there. Are Villa winning their game? Villa are losing against Brentford, so Villa could go ahead of us as well. 64 minutes on the clock. Edozie has the ball to Mansouri. Plays it back to Sardi on the ground. Finds Kozlovs. Wilson was there, but didn't want to run for it, apparently. Kozlovs gets it back. Sardi once again. Now Dix, number 59. Kozlovs goes for a little run. On the ground, finds Wilson. He's got 2, maybe 3 in the box. Instead, loses out. Edozie's trying to keep it alive and can't quite get there. Pedro Porro for Spurs, 64 minutes. Kulusevski can go for a little run down that right-hand side. He's got Mika Hamilton, though, for company. Kulusevski keeps going down the wing, though. Plays it back to Pedro Porro. Now Bentancur in the middle, loads of space. Basuma to Maddison. Back to Basuma. There's a goal coming. There it is. Yves Basuma makes it 2-0. And much like the Brighton game, we're offering absolutely nothing in this. Is 65 minutes too early to do all of our subs? The answer is no, because we're going to do all of our subs at 65 minutes. We're going to do Ings coming on, Taylor Hart coming on, Boyce Clark's coming off, so Uche's going to come on as well. We're going to do Larios coming off for Guinness Walker. We've got one more to do. Who have we got on the bench? House, Lauren Edwards, Chukwuemeka and Vermeeren. I mean, none of them are really inspiring, are they? We're going to do Chukwuemeka coming on for Delap. So we've got Danny Ings and Carney Chukwuemeka up front for the final 25 minutes. I've basically resigned myself to finishing 10th in the table. Forest have also taken the lead, which means they're now the team in 8th place. We've got a corner. Cross comes in. Sardi is there. Cleared. Dix keeps it alive. Guinness Walker on the ground to Danny Ings on his final game in professional football. Has just scored a goal in front of the home fans as well. It's 2-1. I mean, this wasn't what I was expecting from Danny Ings. I wasn't expecting him to come on, score a goal and get us back into this game. This was more of just like a, let's give him a run out for 20 minutes. Final 5 minutes of the match, we are still down in 10th place. I think Wolves and Forest are both winning their games. So 10th place is where we're going to finish, which is top half. Might I add, that is a top half finish in the Premier League. And there has been 98 minutes played. The full-time whistle goes. It's a defeat at home on the final day. But Danny Ings signs the season and his career off with one final Premier League goal. 10th place isn't bad. It's just kind of disappointing the way that we got there with 2 just very bad performances on camera at the end of the season. But the big thing, because we finished 10th, we've picked up £21 million, which is a lot of money considering we've only got 30 million. So we were down to like £9 million before that money came in. £21 million is absolutely huge for us. But obviously we're not going to be here next season. I am going to go forward to the other side of like the FA Cup, Champions League and things like that finals, just because I don't think we're getting into Europe. But there's a very slim chance, isn't there? Right, we've gone forward to the 1st of June. And I think everything's kind of all been sorted. I think all the games have been played. We have, as you can see on the right-hand side, we've got our transfer budgets for next year, which is £47 million. I don't know what's happened in any of the other competitions. So, this is the way that I'm going to get to the Champions League. I don't think it is Man City in the final. I think they've been knocked out. It is Barcelona beating PSG. So, we are Monaco beating West Ham, so West Ham don't get a European spot. So, okay, right. Anyway, what I was trying to get at there is we weren't going to get in a European spot anyway, even if we finished 8th. So, it's all fine. It doesn't matter. One thing that has happened, in between click and continue a few times, is our stadium, it's 24,197 all-seater. We are planning to upgrade it to nearly 28,000. It's going to cost £8 million. We don't even own the thing. I feel like I should have just asked to buy the stadium first. Can I do that but whilst doing the... just let me buy the stadium. I've also asked to increase the coaching and things like that. Youth recruitment, sure, we'll do that one. Because basically what is going to happen in just a second, I'm going to resign. I'm going to leave my position as Reading manager, and then we are going to leave the club, and then there's going to be one more video, which is going to be what happens to Reading in 5 years. They've definitely screwed us up. I can 100% guarantee Reading will not be as good as what they currently are. They'll probably be a championship side. Unless some of the players that I've brought in, which there are obviously quite a few, like your Mansouris, suddenly hit that potential. If they stay at the club, hit their potential, Reading might be a very good side. I've not got a lot of hope. But that is going to do it for this episode and this season and this save with Reading. 5 seasons, 2 promotions. We we could have won the league as well in the championship. We won League One even with that -4 points deduction. We basically turned Liam Delap into an absolute superstar of a footballer with 51 league goals in 76 appearances, which includes 10 in the Premier League as well. All in all, it's been pretty successful. We are going to have one more episode, which is going to be 5 years in the future. Watch out on the channel for that one. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in whatever I do next.